Hit and go live. All right, I think we're good. What's going on, everybody? That was fun. 2-0. 2-0. Got two of our most difficult games taken care of right away. Go on the road, take care of the Chargers, and one of the most exciting games in the NFL season so far. And now a much more grueling game, a much more sloppy game, a game that had some grit to it, but it was really what we expected it to be. So just, Donovan, what'd you think?
Yeah, you said that feeling good, feeling great, 2-0. It was a sloppy win. A win's a win. I'll take it, but
I'll take it over a loss. Are you kidding me?
It definitely there's so much stuff to clean up.
That's okay.
I mean, that the blocked
don't
kick,
care.
the missed
Don't care.
field goal.
Don't care.
I mean,
don't care. You see his face? His face doesn't care.
Okay.
Look, we are 2-0 after two of the most.
I want to talk about.
Okay, fine, whatever. Go ahead. I don't want to hear it, but I'll allow you, I guess.
Eli Apple.
Okay. We'll get into that later. So it was the game we kind of expected it to be. He kind of expected a little bit of a blowout. You said what, 44-10? Something stupid.
I was being a little exaggerating, but I anticipated, our.
You anticipated very wrong. I'll say that. I'll just say that up front. You were completely wrong about the game.
I did anticipate that our defense was going to be a lot better than it was, given that when I said that, Jalen Phillips didn't tweak his back in practice on Friday yet, so
that had an impact, and I'm glad that we finally saw Bradley Chubb get involved. So let me just quickly go down the stat lines of everybody meaningful involved. Tua, 21-30, 249, interception, a touchdown, 92 passer rating. Wasn't bad. Hey, it was good. He had some good throws. He had some good moments. Obviously, interception was a little ugly. Underthrew another pass, but hey, I got no complaints about how Tua played today. Raheem Mostert, obviously the biggest impact player compared from, you look at last week to this week. 18 carries, 121, 2 touchdowns, including that long 43-yard rush for a touchdown. Jalen Waddle did get hurt at the end. Looks like it's a concussion, so we'll see how his availability is for last week. However, for today, he was the leading receiver. 4 catches, 86 yards. Tyreek Hill, 5 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Looking over at the Patriots, who, as I'm sure you guys know, had multiple former Dolphins on the team, and one of those former Dolphins led their receiving core. Devontae Parker, 6 catches, 57 yards. Hunter Henry was the tight end that got in the end zone. Mike Gesicki did not. Gesicki had 5 catches, 33 yards. Hunter Henry had 6 catches, 52 yards, a touchdown. Very similar stat line that he had last week. Mac Jones, 31 for 42. They're trusting him to throw the ball a lot more. He had his most amount of attempts last week in his entire career. This week comes back with 42 attempts, 5.5 per throw, a touchdown, an interception, 84 passer rating. He didn't get bad, or he didn't play that bad. We'll get into him in a little bit. Ramondre Stevenson, 50 yards, got into the end zone. It was Parker, Henry, Gesicki, really the only impact players. So Donovan, we were on the phone for literally the entire game, and there were some moments where we kind of sat there in silence, but for the most part, I feel like we stayed positive, and it was kind of similar to last year at home, maybe to a little stronger degree. Whereas last year, the Patriots just stayed in the game, but I never truly felt like they were the team in the game. Today, there was a little bit more of a worry, but we were also in New England, and considering everything about the Patriots, about this rivalry, to go to New England, get a win where we couldn't do it last year in a very important game. It wasn't a great game, quote unquote, but I'm so excited coming out of these first 2 games 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely 2 of the more difficult games on our schedule, being that, you never count Bill Belichick out, as seen by this defense that was down 3 of their starting corners pretty much. They were down Jack Jones, Jonathan Jones, and Marcus Jones in the secondary. And they still relatively kept Hill and Jalen Waddle up until the concussion in check. And really our entire receiving core, because we didn't really pass the ball that much. However, we made them pay for it with the run game, and our run game was dynamic. So we created run spaces everywhere. We ran outside, inside, ran
mostly outside, but we did eventually find some work on the inside, but not too much.
I mean, that was the inside run was the one where Mostert went untouched for almost 50 yards and touchdown.
Am I making this up? I feel like Savon Ahmed had more rushing yards than he did. He only had 13 on the ground. Okay, most of it was through the air, 28 on the ground. So you look at that total, you look at a little over 40 yards. And another thing we talked about on the phone is when he has the when he has the ball in his hands, he looks like he's way more decisive than he was last year. He looks like he has more confidence when he hits that hole. He's going to make the right decision and is going to have a good opportunity to pick up yards. We've seen some indecisiveness from him. He looks shiftier. He looks quicker. He just has that determination to pick up 4, 5, 6, 7 yards, and he was doing that consistently all night long.
Yeah, Ahmed, so he played this game and pretty much last game too, like he has been in preseason where, given preseason he's going up against, 3s and 4s, but he was able to hit the holes, like you said, with vision and elusiveness and speed. And that thing that I told you even 2 years ago, that I think if you look at it, Gaskin was the better pass catcher, but Ahmed was the better runner, because when he has the ball in his hands, he has the ability to see better than Gaskin did. And we see that vision expanding and becoming better each and every week.
Yeah, and the ground game has certainly grown a lot since last year. They definitely seem to trust going to the running backs more. Like last year, dump offs were seemingly non-existent, or involving the running backs in the passing game at all was non-existent. And you look at Ahmed, he had more yards in the air than he did on the ground. Raheem Mostert just took advantage of every time he got the ball. He seemed to be running with purpose, even if there wasn't a large hole in front of him. He's like, all right, I'm going to see what I'm going to get. And, I did mention multiple times during the games to you that, look, if we get Jonathan Taylor, this offense is just going to be spicy. Like, you have some reasons, fantasy football-wise, to hope that we don't get Jonathan Taylor. I understand that. I get the sentiment to your fantasy football team and being loyal to those players, and you want to do the best there. But, like, as a Dolphins fan, there is zero way you can argue at this point where we're 2-0, two of our most difficult games on the season, going to our first home game, week 3, undefeated. Just say screw it. Obviously, don't give like Christian Wilkins, don't give Jalen Waddle, but if you got to give a first-round pick, we gave up a first-round pick for Bradley Chubb last year, and I guess we're kind of finally seeing that come along. If you got Jonathan Taylor to this offense, spicy.
Hey, look, I'm not disagreeing, but if you look at it from a front office standpoint,
don't care.
If you're no, I'm saying I'm giving a reason for why it might not happen. Because trust me, I want it to happen for the ability to have him like this. It's already the best offense in the league.
Yes.
This
and we didn't even see it at its best today. Like we saw a tamed, handcuffed version of this offense that occasionally saw some deeper stuff down in the middle, over the top, mostly actually on the sidelines. But the game we saw from Tua today, like if this happened last year, like even though we won, like people would probably still be making fun of him. People would probably be saying like, oh, he can't throw it beyond 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Oh, he can only throw it out to the right. Like he was doing that because that's what the defense gave him. He eventually hit some chunks down the field, but he was also able to get Mostert behind him that was able to open up the linebackers a little bit to take those chances down the field. It was a beautiful concoction of what we've seen him grow at as a passer. He took a few hits, and every single time it seemed more comfortable. It seemed like he knew what to do. As much as I was making fun of him for how he was practicing, how he had to practice how to fall, as much as I was making fun of him for that, I think we saw that this week, whereas last week he didn't get touched at all. So you're seeing him grow. You're seeing this team grow. You're seeing this offense grow. And you add just another layer with one of the best running backs in football. Yes, from a front office perspective, if you think long-term, like, yeah, I can see that not being a thing. Like, how do you pay all these guys all this money? Andrew Van Ginkel had a great game, who you've been talking about for years, Donovan. Like, he had a great game on the national stage. He has to get paid next offseason. So from a perspective of money, from the perspective of future, for that, yeah, I don't care. We could win a Super Bowl this year. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and finish what I was saying.
Don't care.
Because you kind of repeated yourself in a ring go around, whatever the fuck. Ring go around.
It's so hot in this room, bro.
Anyways,
about to take my shirt off.
It's hot. It's hot in this room. Don't do that.
I'm thinking about it. You guys might see it. There's 3 of you guys in there. You might see it.
No. No, we're not. Put no. In the comments. Put no in the comments. No. Anyways, if you would stop interrupting
You just laid that up, and I said, nah, I'm not going to slam that down. You teed me up. I said, nah, I can't do it. Can't do it. Go ahead. Maybe. I might interrupt you again. Just letting you know. Go ahead.
from a front office standpoint, the production that you're getting from the running backs that you have currently is so good. Yes, Jonathan Taylor would make this absolutely unstoppable. This is already the best offense in the league, and they were tamed today and still got an above average points amount with 24. And that's with having a kick block and a missed field goal. So, guys, like this is it's already a really good team, so adding Jonathan Taylor would be amazing. Understandable. Front office, you're already getting production from these guys. Why would you go out and spend a first-round pick or first-round pick value on Jonathan Taylor and then have to pay Jonathan Taylor twice what every single running back on your roster is currently getting?
Yes.
You would have to pay him pretty much what your entire running back room is currently making.
Yes. But yeah, I guess you have a point there, and I guess you could say there's nobody really in the NFL that's willing to trade for a running back, give up some stuff from him, and pay him, except for the exact offense that Mike McDaniel just came from. In that offense, when they got said piece in Christian McCaffrey with the San Francisco 49ers, a lot of people are questioning, why did they do that? You've been able to maintain a good enough running game over the past 6 years with guys like Raheem Mostert, with guys like Jeff Wilson, with guys like who they already have on the team, Elijah Mitchell. And we were kind of sitting there like, do you really want to be giving up that much capital? You might be losing Nick Bosa at the time. Obviously, that didn't materialize, but it was a possibility at the time. Could be losing Nick Bosa. You've already lost multiple pieces on the defensive line, and you're going to give up all those picks, all that money to a running back? And they said, yes. And now look at the 49ers offense with a competent running back who is not just a plug-and-play type guy, with a guy who is legitimately one of the best players in the NFL. He's surrounded by superstars, and yet he's still clearly the best offensive piece on that team. And he was worth every pick they got, especially if they win a Super Bowl, and every dollar they gave him. I think you can find a very similar situation with Jonathan Taylor, especially with his ability to hit that hole, which is what I was talking about. Mostert, he took his chances today in Ahmed. I saw a pretty big improvement on. If you have a guy who can do that between the tackles with a offensive line that didn't have as good of a game last week, but it's definitely improved from where it was last year, just the levels this offense can be taken to, as well as he's not a bad pass catcher by any means. He's not like Christian McCaffrey, but he can do it.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey is also the best running back in football, period. But
I can't really argue against that.
Yeah, so it's tough because like I do want Jonathan Taylor, but it's also, like I said, it's up to the front office, and that's the major difference. Like, yes, they gave up all that money and all the picks for Christian McCaffrey. However, that was also a different management. Yes, it's very similar offense with very similar coaching ability and style. However, different regime, different owner, different GM. Like,
right,
you got guys that are. If you look at,
it's different, but it's comparable enough. It's comparable enough. I think you're picking hairs a little bit.
No. Because if you look at the payroll across, like, so the 49ers, they have the highest paid running back in the league. They have one of the top highest paid wide receivers in the league, and they're going to probably pay Ayuk too. They
have to at this point.
They have one of the top tackles, top paid tackles in the league, top paid defensive tackle, top paid edge rusher, top paid linebacker, top paid safety.
Yeah,
like they have at least a top 5 paid guy at almost every.
And they still found a way to
position.
do it. So I think we definitely can. But I think we're getting a little bit into the weeds here. We're kind of going away from the actual topic at hand, which is, the Miami Dolphins are 2-0. You're going to be at the game next Sunday. I unfortunately will not be. If you want a ticket, go check out Ticketmaster. I think it's section 304, row 17, seats 23 and 24. If you buy those, you will have bought an official Miami Dolphins Syndicate ticket. Okay? One day, just saying, that could be worth a lot of money. Okay? You could be like, oh my gosh, I bought the ticket from Miami Dolphins Syndicate. Probably not. Probably you're going to think like, oh, nice ticket, whoever ends up buying it. Not think twice about us, except for Cat for Life, our one only true fan that has stuck with us. Even though I haven't seen his name pop up in like a month and a half, but it's okay.
No, we have a few more regulars than just Cat for Life.
Well, he's the one that we met, so we can literally put a face to it. But what I was trying to get to that in a long attempted speech. You are going to be at the game. what do you? We've never really had this. Like last year, I guess we did kind of have it when we welcomed the Bills into Hard Rock, where we were 2-0. We had who did we play in the first 2 weeks last year that we beat?
We played
New
the
England.
New England in the home opener, and then Ravens.
Oh, so, okay. So maybe. Well, I guess it's kind of back-to-back years that week 3 is going to be a electric home game. Now, for different reasons. One, for this year, we might be the best team in the AFC. We couldn't say that last year. It was definitely like, whoa, we're kind of seeing this team materialize, and we just saw the biggest comeback I've ever seen from a Dolphins team. This year, it's like, oh, wait. This feels real. This feels like this is a team. This is the first time in my entire life. This is the most confident I've ever been in my entire life that I'm watching a Miami Dolphins team that could win the Super Bowl.
I 100% agree with you. Truthfully, I think that there's like overall team wise, in the AFC, I don't think there's a single team better than us. NFC, you go look at the top of the NFC. I mean,
One
the
team.
the 49ers
One team.
looked really good, and then I don't think the Eagles haven't looked good. They've won, but it's been ugly.
I was saying
Yeah.
on Thursday while watching that Eagles game, like I wish we could play the Eagles next week. They would have that extra time to prepare, so that'd be like, eh. But relatively speaking, like I want to play the Eagles right now. Like I feel like we're dangerous. I feel like we've just handled two very different styles of approach. Hey, don't double Tyreek Hill at all. Do not let Tyreek Hill leave your sight. Like very different approaches, and we saw the same result, which is a win at the end of the day. The Eagles haven't looked good. Teams have seemingly planted a blueprint on how to beat Jalen Hurts, but we don't have to go there yet. Russell Wilson does not look like the same guy. Like he does. He even though like that last play was nice, that second half, like that beginning of the second half, all the way up until that moment, like he looked pretty rough. So I can't imagine we lose next week. So I think the first time in our entire lives we'll have back-to-back 3-0 starts to the season potentially.
That would be wild.
Going into
But,
Buffalo.
like, going into Buffalo week 4, which I think we can honestly start 4-0, honestly, because
If we're starting 4-0, we're starting
Buffalo,
5-0. We're starting 5-0. We're starting 6-0.
like Buffalo looked a lot better this week. I'll give them that, but like,
Against the Raiders.
yeah, it was the Raiders, and even then their offensive line didn't look good. Like if you look at like the next 3 games that we have, so we have the Broncos, then we go into Buffalo, and then we have someone at home. Who do we have at home?
We have the Giants. The Bills, we have the Giants.
So we have the Giants.
I should know considering.
That's it.
Huh?
So if it goes Broncos, Bills, Giants, that would be ideal. I mean,
It goes Broncos, Bills, Giants. I know for a fact it does, because they pulled up the Giants schedule at the end of the game today, their game.
Oh, bro, our next 4 games, the offensive lines for these teams are absolutely horrible. Broncos line, absolutely horrible. Bills offensive line, absolutely horrible. Giants looked a little bit better in the second half today, but they did not look good in the first 6 quarters at all. And it was the Cardinals.
It was the Cardinals. This bozo has back-to-back weeks picked the Cardinals to win. I would just like to interrupt.
No. I picked the Commanders last week, so you can.
Did you?
I did. I could pull it up. I picked the Commanders last week, and I picked the Cardinals this week.
The Commanders suck, by the way. They're not that good.
I get on those picks, and they're 2-0 in the season.
The Broncos are good. The Broncos defense looks so much worse than it did last year.
So then we have the Panthers after the Giants, and that offensive line is hot garbage. Y'all be able to see that on national television tomorrow night, or kind of technically tonight.
Yes.
And then we play the Eagles, and that's going to be our toughest test. Like if we can get through the Broncos and the Bills, the Eagles are our next hardest game. And then after that, the Patriots again. Then we travel all the way to Germany and play the Chiefs.
I do want to say
the Patriots twice before November.
There might be a second team that's better than us today. There might be a second team, not in the AFC. the Cowboys looked really good against that Jets defense.
Oh, dude, I keep forgetting about
I'm not gonna
the
lie,
Cowboys.
they looked really good. Like, it's fun to make fun of the Cowboys. It's fun to make fun of the Patriots, but you gotta give credit where
They did
credit's
that
due.
without Brandon Cooks.
They just walked all over their defense. Now the Jets are demoralized. Sauce Gardner, I'm pretty sure, deactivated his Twitter. We saw
He
Brees
did.
Hall publicly. He tweeted 4 footballs, I think it was, to replicate how
He
many
let
times he got the ball for. So that team is imploding, but they still have a very good defense. And the Cowboys just did what Dak Prescott just sat back there like, okay, and just did what they wanted to do, just like they did last week against the Giants. Like, I don't think anything on their stat line looks outstanding, but they just had an easy time. And the defense is incredible. Micah Parsons, disgusting. He's so good. Their special teams is really good too. Like
yeah.
they rallied to the ball really well on special teams. They had I'm pretty sure
Turpin is
they have a decent returner.
decent. He's probably a top
He's one of
three
the best.
returner in
No,
the
he's one of
league.
the best.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
we are at worst the third best team in the NFL, at worst.
I would if you had to come out with the power rankings right now, I would probably put us at 3 behind those two.
I would
Like if you look at if you look at the NFC, they don't have a lot of good teams.
I want to try to put together a 10 real quick.
But the teams
I'm
the
gonna
teams
go-
that they do have,
I'm going to go 49ers, Cowboys, Dolphins. Who else is 2-0 besides the Commanders? I guess I still got to go the Eagles.
the
I
Eagles.
still got to go the Eagles. I think you pop the Chiefs back in there, even though they didn't play too great. But both teams have underrated defenses, so I'd probably go Chiefs 5. Bills really bounced back. I might put them at 6. Ravens.
Browns.
Ravens. Well, Browns haven't played yet. Kind of have to time out. Hold on. Them Ravens actually above the Bills because I was not too excited for the Ravens going into the game today, and they ended up winning. Gus Edwards looked good. Zay Flowers looks incredible. Odell is hurt, so that's the thing. But I'm gonna put the Ravens right above the Bills. I wanted to put the Lions, but I forgot they lost. It is definitely a step down once you get past 7. Because like the Chargers are 0-2. The Jaguars, I'd still probably have my top 10 even though they lost. They just played the Super Bowl champions. But like
Are the Jaguars 0-2 or they're 1-1?
No, they beat the Colts last week.
Oh yeah.
I might put the Colts in the
Honestly,
top 10.
Colts honestly looked really good.
I don't.
So you want to hear the list of the 2-0 teams? Because there's gonna be a couple here.
Wait, let me guess them. Falcons, Commanders, us, 49ers. Is that it? Eagles.
Eagles.
How many am I missing?
You haven't said Dallas.
I didn't say Dallas. As soon as I said how many am I missing, I realized I didn't say Dallas. Dallas, Washington. I think I already said Washington.
And you're missing 2 more. Your Ravens and 1 more.
What conference?
NFC.
2-0 specifically, though, right?
2-0 specifically.
I said the Falcons.
Same division.
Oh my gosh, the Buccaneers are.
The Buccaneers. And there's a good possibility that the Saints may start 2-0.
Yeah. Browns too. I think the Browns are going to. I picked the Browns to win tomorrow. Let me see how this.
Who are the Browns? The Browns are playing.
Oh my gosh, I can wear my computer glasses and the glare doesn't affect it. Look at that.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, I can finally wear these while doing a stream. That's amazing. I look good.
Because you don't have the light right in your face this time.
Oh, I think this is actually closer to my face, to be honest with you. And it's like such a good
You know what
light.
I'm saying?
Like look, this is now you can finally start to see it. It's literally in front of the camera. This is such a good light. I'm so happy my mom gave this to me. I saw it, I'm like, ooh, that looks like a good light. And it is. I look so clean.
But please don't do that.
Dolphins are 2-0, baby. I'm sweaty. It's so musky in this new room. I don't even. There's one person in here.
So,
it might be us.
Man, we talked about the good.
I don't want to talk.
I want to get. I know you don't want to talk about the bad, but we had to talk about the bad.
Eli Apple sucks. There you go. That's the bad. You don't have to go into more depth.
That was no. I need to go into more depth because Vic Fangio. I know you don't like to play the young guys. I know you don't. But please, for the love of God, there's no possible way that Cam Smith plays worse than this man.
I
please
trust the
put Cam
coaches.
Smith in.
I trust the coaches. Obviously,
Bro,
Igbo's good, but Cam Smith might not be good either.
Honestly,
Right now, today.
playing Eli Apple over Cam Smith makes me wish we didn't trade Igbo. And like I was already mad about trading Igbo, but like I understood it because we needed special teams help, and Kelvin Joseph is good at special teams. But like,
hope everything's okay with him. Because
it was a family issue, yeah, that he missed the game. But yeah, bro, it makes me wish that we had Igbo, because I know for a fact that Igbo would be starting over Eli Apple, because he was starting over Eli Apple every single defensive play that we had during.
I mean, I'm not too bothered. Like, yeah, he's the worst player on the defense, but if we can, as long as we're winning, as long as it doesn't end up impacting a game, like he ends up getting like a really bad pass interference call, or he allows a late touchdown. Like if we're continuing to win, and he is the weak point. Every team has a weak point, and we experienced that really bad last year. But no, I don't even want to. I just want to bask in the glory and enjoy it. He sucks. We both know that. I'm really damn.
Yo, what's up,
good.
Gage? I actually felt really bad for you earlier.
That was tough.
That was tough. I had the Commanders winning that game.
I had the Broncos.
And he had the Broncos. You're that way, I think.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
That way. Put it on the track like a subway.
Hey. Yeah. He had the Broncos. And that Hail Mary was. And that was a DPI on the 2-point conversion.
Bro, if I bet on your team this week, they probably lost. I mean, I bet on the Bengals, I bet on the Jaguars, I bet on the Bears. Like the Giants nearly did it too. Like if I bet on your team this week, there's a good chance they didn't win this week. There's gotta be.
If I bet on your team, it's a solid chance it came down to the last 2 minutes of the game.
I can't hit my player bets. I'm like 0-7. It was Breece Hall that got me today. I had the over on Breece Hall, and if I had gone the under or picked a different one, I would have got $100 off a $5 bet. It can't be worse though than Dylan. I mean, he had 6 different bets where if he would just change one pick, he probably would have got over $1,000. He would have had like he probably had like $1,300 between those 6 betting slips.
Yeah, there was one betting slip that it was like over/under on Cody Bellinger.
He put a baseball player in with a bunch of football players. Like, what are you? And that's the one that didn't hit. He put the baseball player.
Actually, I looked at him more, and he had 3 baseball parlays, or 3 baseball parts of the parlay, and 3 football. So he actually mixed it. And I was like, yo, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Okay, this room is literally becoming a sauna, so we're gonna cut it there. Gage, thank you for popping by for the end for the last few minutes, and thank you anybody else who's tuned in. The Dolphins are 2-0. Donovan, last thoughts. Wrap it up.
Final thoughts. We're the best team in the AFC. Maybe the best team in the league. We will find that out. we will find that out when we play the Eagles and Cowboys later this season. And then, maybe that's a Super Bowl preview. Maybe we just take out the top 3 teams in the NFC by going Eagles, Dallas, and then in the Super Bowl we take out the 49ers. But what do I know?
I don't know. I don't think you
get Jerry. Oh,
I bet the under on Jerry Jeudy, and I told you he wasn't going to do anything, Donovan.
Whatever.
Dang, you interrupt me.
Who the frick is Brandon? Whatever. Go ahead.
No, I forgot what I was going to say now. I'm going to go take a shower. It's fun being 2-0. You have fun at the game. I'll be in Seattle next week. So Denver or Gage, I'll be more west than you. I'll be at the Seattle Seahawks and Carolina Panthers game in Seattle next week. It's going to be in the 50s. Game time is going to be in the 60s. Like, oh, that's so beautiful. And I have DK in one league, probably going to be on my bench though. And I have Bryce Young in one league, so that's cool.
Zach Charbonnet.
Messing with that, and then I got Tyler Lockett. Who I'm gonna be playing, so I'm gonna get to watch them. I'm gonna be rooting for like both teams. And they're like, "What? Who are you a fan of?" Actually, the Dolphins.
Please, for the love of God, wear a Dolphins jersey.
I'm gonna be in. No, I'm not that guy. I'm gonna be in Seattle, and I'll be like, rooting for both sides because I have fantasy implications. Someone's gonna turn around and be like, "Yo, who are you actually rooting for in this game? Who are you a fan of?" Miami Dolphins. I'll be like, "You mean the team that's as far away from this team as anybody in the league?" I'll be like, "Yeah, it's me." Okay,